the channel. It's time for another reading from Papa's Comic Books and Coffee. Today, I'm going to try something a little different, so don't get upset. If you don't like the book, shut it off, okay? But I think we're just going to try a little, you ready? Sleeping Beauty. Little Golden Book, Walt Disney's Sleeping Beauty. This is Sleeping Beauty, illustrated by Ron Diaz, a Golden Book, New York, Western Publishing Company, Racine, Wisconsin, 1986. Okay. In a faraway land long ago, King Stephen and his fair queen wished for a child. At last a daughter was born, and they named her Aurora. To honor the baby princess, the king held a great feast. Nobles and peasants, knights and their ladies, everyone flocked joyfully to the castle. King Stephen welcomed his good friend King Hubert to the feast. King Hubert had brought his young son Philip with him. Or maybe it's Philippe, I don't know. The kings agreed that someday Philip and Aurora would be married. Among the guests were 3 gold fairies, Flora, Fauna, and Merryweather. Each of these magic beings wished to bless the infant with a gift. Waving her wand, Flora chanted, "My gift shall be the gift of beauty." And she waves her wand. "And mine," said Fauna, "shall be the gift of song." Merryweather's turn was next. But before she could speak, the castle doors flew open, lightning flashed, thunder rumbled, a tiny flame appeared and grew quickly into the form of an evil witch, Maleficent. Her pet black raven was perched on her shoulder. Maleficent was furious, for she hadn't been invited to the feast. Now she took revenge. "I, too, have a gift for the newborn babe," she sneered. "She shall indeed grow in grace and beauty, but before the sun sets on her 16th birthday, she shall prick her finger on the spindle of a spinning wheel and die." With a cruel laugh, the witch vanished. Everyone in the room was grief-stricken. But Merryweather still had a gift to give, and she tried to undo Maleficent's curse. She said to the infant, "If through this witch's trick a spindle should your finger prick, not in death, but just in sleep, the fateful prophecy you'll keep. And from this slumber you shall wake, when true love's kiss the spell shall break." King Stephen ordered that every spinning wheel in the land be burned. But he still feared the witch's heavy hearts as the fairies hurried from the castle carrying the baby princess. To guard their secret, the fairies disguised themselves as peasant women and changed Aurora's name to Briar Rose. The years passed quietly, and Briar Rose grew into a beautiful young woman. At last, the princess reached her 16th birthday. Planning a surprise, the fairies sent her out to pick berries. Fauna baked a cake for her, while the others sewed her new gown. In a mossy glen, Briar Rose danced and sang with her friends, the birds and animals. She told them of her beautiful dream about meeting a tall, handsome stranger and falling in love. A handsome young man came riding by. When he heard Briar Rose singing, he jumped from his horse and hid in the bushes to watch her. Then he reached out to take her hand. Briar Rose was startled. "I didn't mean to frighten you," the young man smiled, "but I feel like we've met before." Briar Rose felt very happy. She and her admirer gazed into each other's eyes. The young man didn't know she was Princess Aurora, and she didn't know he was Prince Philip, to whom she had been betrothed many years before. Back at the cottage, the fairies gave Briar Rose her birthday surprise. Then Briar Rose told them that she had fallen in love. "Impossible!" they cried. They told her the truth at last, that she was a royal princess betrothed at birth to a prince. Now it was time for her to return home, so poor Aurora was led away, pining for her handsome stranger. Maleficent's raven, perched on the chimney of the cottage, had heard everything. It flew off to warn Maleficent that the princess was finally returning to her rightful home. Maleficent sped to the castle. There, using her evil, fallen into a deep sleep. Maleficent's cruel curse had come true. Now, with a harsh laugh, the witch vanished. The fairies wept bitterly. Poor King Stephen and the Queen had, said Fauna. They'll be heartbroken when they find out, said Merryweather. They're not going to, said Flora. We'll put them all to sleep until the princess awakens. So the three fairies flew back and forth, casting a dreamlike spell over everyone in the castle. Meanwhile, the witch had captured Philip and chained him down in her dungeon. But the good fairies had other plans for him. Using their magic, they melted the prince's chains. They armed him with a shield of virtue and a sword of truth. Then they sent him racing to the castle to awaken the princess. When the witch saw Philip escaping, she furiously tried to stop him. She hurled heavy boulders at him, but the brave prince rode on. When Prince reached Aurora's, Philip angrily hacked the thorns aside with his powerful sword. You shall deal with me, O prince, she shrieked. And all the powers of evil, Maleficent breathed huge waves of flame. Philip ducked behind the strong shield. Thunder cracked, flames roared around him. The prince fought bravely, guided by the and wedding plans were soon made. The good fairies were blissful. Also, it had all ended just the way it should. Happily ever after. And that was Golden Books out of New York, Western Publishing Company, Racine, Wisconsin. Children's Television Workshop, Sesame Street, Puppet Characters, Jim Henson, Walt Disney Company, Warner Brothers, United Feature, Warner Chappell Music, Robert May, and Western Publishing Incorporated. As we turn the page, Little Golden Books. That was from Joel and Jenny's, only 88 cents. Sleeping Beauty, Golden Book from 1986. Well, I hope you enjoyed that little reading. If not, leave in a comment. Tell me what you want me to do. Don't forget, now everything I read is available on my eBay page, Papa's-Comic-Books. Hit me subscribe button. Give me a like. Tell me what you thought. And as I always say,
that was easy.
Until next time, Papa is out.